Okay, look, sometimes I go to a restaurant in Ann Arbor and I just can't take it anymore. Like, I don't understand what the problem is and why people can't cook. So then I get home and I have to make something that is gonna rectify that taste in my mouth. So we're making queso fundido. First gonna saute a little bit of onion and garlic. Just till it's soft. Okay. Little bit of paprika, smoked in a dry pan. Smell it right away. Man, is that good. Generous pinch of salt. Salt is something we use in a restaurant sometimes, some of us. Now once it's soft, medium soft, turn off the heat because you're gonna pour half a can of beer in, whatever you have in your fridge. I'm using this Old Nation Rubicon, which is kind of like an Italian, I don't know if it's quite like a Stella. It has a little more flavor than that. Once the beer is in, turn up the heat. Turn the other half. Okay? Reduce this. It's going to take 2 to 3 minutes. In the meantime, we have some cheeses here. I have a little parm. You could use a queso blanco or something like that. Again, use what you have that has flavor. I have a little chihuahua and I have some cheddar. 2 different kinds of cheddar. And then I have some chorizo, because on the top of this, once I whisk these cheeses in, I'm going to put the chorizo in there and put it under the broiler so it browns on top a little, adds some extra flavor and some added heat. So I'm going to let this reduce. I'm going to grab a whisk. If you want, because it's the holidays, could add a little butter here. I'm not gonna do a roux in here because I don't think that tastes great. There are some times, maybe for a mac and cheese I would do a roux, but for this, I don't think it's necessary. I think you then end up tasting a grainy texture over the flavor of what you got going on here. So I'm looking for this to reduce by about half. It's gonna be maybe another minute. Don't be afraid for this heat to be up high. Reduction is one of those things that we use a lot as professional chefs that a lot of home cooks don't use. It accentuates flavor, and my dog is making noises in the background. She agrees. So we're gonna fast forward this just a little bit. Okay, then turn the heat down to low. You'll notice a little bit of a difference in the viscosity here, a little bit. And then you're gonna add the cheese. I'm gonna add half of the cheese that I have here. So I have half of the cheddar, I have half of the Chihuahua, half of the parm that I have, and then I'm gonna stir it in. Now, because I added that smoked paprika, there's a nice reddish tint. but it has some great flavor too. You want the heat to be on medium. Remember this knob that you turn, it's important because it adjusts the temperature. Okay, so stir it till it emulsifies. Get the cheese into the beer. You could use wine, of course, and you'd be more like a Swiss, you'd have more of a Swiss fondue. Here's something that even professional chefs, as I'm learning, forget to do, and that is to taste it. Okay, tastes pretty good. There's needs a little bit more salt. But then you have this kind of melted base. And you want to basically stir it until it's homogeneous, if you can. Get it there. Scraping the bottom as you go. Okay, now at this point, shut the heat off underneath it and put the cheese on in an even layer. What I would do is gently stir it in at this point so it gets a little moistened. Then top it with chorizo. Chorizo that has flavor, not just color. And then at this point, pop it under the broiler.